So you mean to tell me you have 2 properties that are Airbnb and it got you to be financially free?
That's right.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Spotlight session. I have a really special guest coming on the show today, Gergo Bureau, and you need to hear what he's got to say. He's going to be sharing his journey of how he was able to close on 2 deals that has created him to have financial independence. So without further ado, let's get right started.
I'm trying to think back to of when you actually started investing.
Basically, I started about 3 years ago.
What is it you do with your job right now?
I work for the city actually. TTC, Toronto Transit Commission.
Okay. What strategies are you actually working on? Because I know you mentioned you had Airbnbs on the go or an Airbnb and flips.
So right now it's only short-term rentals.
Okay.
In Ontario, kind of thinking, I'm saying kind of, or we, because my fiancé also, I've been slipping her information about TYT and like she sees what I do and like, you know, how I look at properties and sparked her interest. Like, it's like, I didn't know you can do this and you can do that. I'm like, yeah, you're just like most people that don't know, I didn't teach you this in school. So she wants to learn now more and she wants to use the money that she has more, basically maximize her return on the money that she has saved up, right? Because now she kind of knows, I can do A, I can do B, I can do C, I can invest in different markets.
Strategies, markets.
Yeah.
Different kinds of property too.
Yeah.
Really, and congrats too on your fiance. That's exciting stuff. Last time we spoke, that was not in place.
Not the case.
So
yeah.
So that's amazing, man. Congrats. And you said that you do short-term rentals, Airbnbs in Niagara. So what's like a 5-year goal that you're looking to? Because I know you're working now. You're doing the short-term rental, get some cash flow going. You want to leave your job in that. Like, walk me through the next 5 years of what you're wanting to accomplish.
The good news is that if it was short-term rentals, well, I only have 2.
Sorry, I want to make sure I understand that.
Yeah.
So like, I only have 2. So you mean to tell me you have 2 properties that are Airbnb and it got you to be financially free?
That's right.
Like, props to that. Like, that's what you're telling me right now. That's exciting news, man. Like, that's crazy. Like, here I'm like, okay, you're working hard. You're pursuing out of. You're working at your job, you're wanting to get to the next level, you're doing this, and you're like, I only have 2 property, but I make enough that I'm pretty much, I could retire, like, at least from your job. It's like,
yeah.
So, I see it like, wait, what? I have to understand that.
I was surprised too, that when I put the prices up and I'm like, if somebody books for that, I'm like, wow. And, when you see that good booking and you're like, oh, okay, so people, I guess they do see the value and they don't mind paying that price to come and stay and provide a service like from A to Z. You're always very accommodating and try to cater, like little gifts, wine, bottles of wine, right, etc.
Well, look at that. I gotta ask this too, because you're targeting the higher audience or higher executive suites and that. And 2 properties is enough to generate enough cash flow to essentially retire you. So what's been one of your biggest, I guess, positive takeaways from even the real estate world?
Biggest awakening when I started seeing the first deposits from Airbnb and then I start seeing, the monthly bank statement and I'm like,
this stuff works.
This is almost what I make in a month, like working 9 to 5 and I probably put in 5 hours altogether this month with these places and I'm like, this does work.
Yeah, and even 5 hours compared to 9 to 5 every week, every day.
It's
just giving it your all and you turn that to 5 hours and you're making your same income.
That kind of blew my mind. I'm like, I want to know more. I want to scale this thing up.
Yeah, no kidding.
So for us, our dream is with my fiance to actually live in Spain, in Barcelona. That's our golden dream.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I haven't been to Spain yet. It's on my bucket list.
Yeah, you gotta go. There are some nice places there.
Why did you actually get into real estate investing?
There was something about the whole 9 to 5 job analogy and working, until you retire and counting on your pension and that whole, rat race mindset that everybody seems, or most people seem to be in and be okay with it. And I knew there was something more out there that had to be to life other than just go to work, wait for the weekend comes, great, go back to work. Mm-hmm. And for me personally, I'm not really fulfilled with my work. It's not when I was a child, I never thought of, I want to be transit control supervisor at TTC. So for me, it was like, yeah, money is great. The lenders love it because it's a secure job. It's a big company. So yeah, it's comfortable. Sure, I could definitely work another 20, 25 years in it and then retire like most people. But I still miss that freedom. Either real estate investing, or you do own business, or you're an entrepreneur, and whatever it is you do, all that time and energy I put in, I'm putting it into my business myself. I'm growing at J.O.B. It's all that energy and time I'm putting into somebody else's business that's growing and great. Unfortunately, with my job, I also was not receiving the recognition for the sacrifices, and like the nature of the job is very stressful, so you have to give up a lot, etc. And I never received that appreciation, like, that I was feeling appreciated or even respected,
So working and almost feeling like a number kind of.
Well, it was exactly like that, and that was like for me the push to like, okay, I can't do this for another 20 years or 25 years. It's gonna like drive me nuts, or I'm just gonna be very grumpy, and like I'm gonna be one of those people that are just like talk to themselves and we get pissed off at everybody and everything all the time. So I'm like, before I gets to that point, I need to figure out my first thought was how I can replace my income that I make with TTC. Like, what's the amount? I knew the amount. Okay, how can I make that money in a month? And then of course I went through there are stocks, there are, different ways of investing, right?
For sure.
Lending out your money, etc. Again, real estate was always one of the safest ways because again, I was a little bit handy too. I kind of liked the challenge, or like I can put my creative mind into, if I tear a place down, like, okay, how are we gonna build it back up? Like, what is it gonna look like? Stuff like that. So it was kind of like more rewarding. It was more joyful to do than to go to work and just do the whole mundane thing day in and day out.
Well, you need something new in your life. That challenge, something that gets you out of bed in the morning and it pushes you. So, do you have any advice for anyone who might just be starting out?
Get into some sort of group or community that you have some support. Like, if you don't know something, then you can go to person A or person B, and then they'll guide you to, person C that knows, or maybe they'll help you. And then definitely get some sort of mentorship, coaching, somebody that's walked the trenches and can guide you, even though it might be a lot of money, or at the time maybe it's a lot of money, or whatever the budget is. But you need that somebody that can kind of not shortcut, but help you accelerate. Because short timeline, yeah. Because if you're trying to figure out yourself, it's so much harder, and there's so much more trial and error. If you don't do something properly, it can cost you, a lot of money, a lot of time, and then you might also just altogether forget it, because it's like, oh my god, like, this is not what it, everybody else is talking about. So having that kind of community support and like, or a mentor that can take your hand and just show you the way. I think that's key, because you can find, there's like YouTube, obviously, there's Google, there's like information is all out there, and it's at your fingertips, right? Like how to invest in real estate, and boom, there you go. There are like 10,000 hits. So
yeah, it's true, because they always say, like, if information was everything, everyone would have six-pack abs and be billionaires. So information is not of course what's missing. A lot of people, I would agree, a lot of people, go to YouTube, they look at all the information that's available, and there's so much, and they're still not getting the results. So I love that. It's like, find that mentor, someone to trust, or that you can work with, and help shorten that time frame. Well, that's it. I really appreciate you, my man, coming on here, and congrats again on the engagement. That's amazing.
Thank you. Next chapter of life.
Yeah, absolutely.
That concludes this episode's spotlight session with Gergo. If you did like the video, love Gergo's story, please click that like button at the bottom. Make sure you stay up to date by clicking the notification bell at the top, and of course, at the end of the day, smash the subscribe button to become part of the community. I'm your host, Kyle Body, and Trust Your Talent's mission is to create financial independence, one person at a time. I look forward to seeing you in the future videos. You're gonna have to cut so much. Quiet on set. Without further ado, let's get right started. I really like that line for some reason. Let's get right started.
I find it hilarious.
How much that?
Yay!
Yay!
So when did you start recording? Because
When you sat down.
at one point.
When you sit down.
Oh really?
It was like,
You guys got me.
it's okay. We get that from everyone. Like it helps with.
That's
your
the best way
nerves.
to doing it,
Yeah,
because-
like it helps with your nerves.
Can you hear the people?
Yeah, of course I can.
All right, that wraps up. No.